There are those that just want to be left alone, and those that just won't leave them alone. Which one are you? The Ernest Hancock Show.
Welcome back to Declare Your Independence with me, Ernest Hancock, each and every day from the beautiful studios of Freedoms with an S, freedomsphoenix.com here in beautiful Phoenix, Arizona. This is the time of year. Freedom Summit, freedomsummit.com. Make sure you go there. Oh, we got a lot of great speakers. And if you haven't gone to the Freedom Summit before, let me tell you what you're missing. 3 weeks after 9/11 was our first summit. This is our 9th one. If you went to our Freedom Summits, you knew what was happening. It's at the Sheridan Crescent Resort in North Phoenix, and it's going to be a really big show. And we had it there last year, too, and it worked out great. And it's the first weekend of December 3rd through the 5th, and we have what? Christmas time. It's all lighted up and it's party. Well, one thing that I want to make sure that you know is there's a lot of people that's going to, of course, be talking about the TSA and how it represents all that's wrong with Big Bubba government. Big Bubba government is, wanting to look at it. I tell you, this is the issue. Think about it. You must appear before the king naked or be fondled by the king's men to travel. If that's not scary, I don't know what is. And as we've looked out throughout history, when you've given government agents the power to do this kind of stuff, it always ends badly. So we're trying to be peaceful in our opposition and in our advocacy of simply being left alone. Because there's two main kinds of people. Let me tell you how it works out. There are those that just want to be left alone, and there are those that just won't leave them alone. Which one are you? Well, the government are supposed to be there to protect our right to just be left alone, to allow us to pursue our happiness. Well, are they? Well, the people want to have a say, and that's what we're doing. What I want to do is we're going to play a piece by Dr. Paul that when we interviewed him here, he was here in Arizona last weekend at the Phoenician Resort, and we wanted to make sure that we just give you a piece of what was happening then and the conversation that we had, and let's make sure we got the sound going up on this, and we'll go ahead and give it a shot, we'll let it load up. But I want to make sure that you understand this is much larger than what a lot of people anticipated. When we had the Phoenix police down here, their whole thing is they were concerned about just people being uncomfortable. People, because here in Arizona, it's legal to carry a firearm. It's legal to be in the airport up to the security line that you can openly or concealed carry a firearm for your protection. Welcome to Arizona. Well, how will the police handle someone exercising their Second Amendment while exercising their First Amendment? We had that discussion. And then you can add on some other amplifiers, for things like what if they're passing out stuff? What if they're passing out material that is, subversive? They're not in support of being screened and prodded and so on. Then what? I don't know. Let's see what Dr. Paul had to say about it.
There's a lot of people that are going to be protesting the government's violation of individual rights the day before Thanksgiving. And we have a lot of young people that aren't experienced in a lot of times in dealing with these people, but you've encouraged them, you've inspired them to participate, to do something. What's the main message that you're hoping they're going to be able to relay?
There is a mixed bag there. You could, if you take the other side of the argument not to do it, you say, well, it's going to be disruptive, which it can be, and some innocent people who might be in a hurry might, feel the pain of it all. But the other side is, if our governments won't do anything, the Congress doesn't respond, the courts don't respond, and the abuse gets so bad, acting out like this to make the point, it's a strong and it is a difficult decision to make. But I think right now things are so bad that if people are motivated to do it, I think it's a good idea to get the attention of the people. to say, look, why should we be doing this? And, right now, there's a lot of expression of concern about what's going on with the TSA. But actually, their back is up against the wall. They're saying we're going to be as tough as ever. They're not backing down one bit. The only place they backed down was with the pilots. And that was so absurd. They had to do it. But no, it depends on what the American people do. If the American people say enough is enough, they can have an influence. And hopefully, if something happens around Thanksgiving, I hope that message is loud and clear, and the Congress goes back a week after, going back to Congress a week after. If they needed to or wanted to, they could put something on the floor and pass it right away.
Eliminate the TSA. Thanks, Dr. Paul.
Very good.
And then he turned back. He had something else he wanted to say, and he thought was very important.
TSA is, Micah wants to, contract out. Okay, sure thing. He wants to contract it out and privatize it, but that won't. But they're obligated to do exactly the same thing. What we need to do is privatize in the sense that the owner of the property is responsible for protecting his cargo. Which is the airline. That's different than contracting out and buying and having. A shirt off, getting the contract.
No, you give us something to support, Dr. Paul. We're all behind you, man.
Yeah, everybody, you give us something to support, and that's what's going to happen. And then he went on from backstage, and I think he went on to the CNN interview, and then, of course, we have some video of him speaking at the Phoenician. This is a very, very, very important issue, and it is so representative of all the things that Dr. Paul has been talking about throughout his campaign in 2008 and for decades as he has been, advocating for freedom from his congressional seat in the House floor. And with C-SPAN, we get a lot of this. Let's go ahead and hear a little bit what he had to say. This is a large crowd at the Phoenician. Well, it's chopping up, so we'll go ahead and get to that later. The one thing that I want to make sure that everybody understands is that this is a love-olution. It's a revolution between the ears. You always have the revolution that's in the mind, that people want to be just. That's why the Love-olution logo was so popular. That started here in Phoenix in 2006, years before Dr. Paul started his campaign for the 2008 nomination. And we knew it was going to be very popular. Why? Because it expressed what people wanted, to just be left alone in peace, with love. Daisies in the gun barrels. Well, hopefully there won't be any gun barrels. And with our cooperation with the Phoenix Police Department, by just not necessarily doing what they wanted, but at least letting them be informed about what we were doing and that we were no threat. And if there was a threat, we expect them to do their job. But if we see someone that we think's the threat and we're in government issue boots or something, we're going to point them out too and say, hey, we perceive this guy to be a threat. Maybe you might want to check him out, or we just take the video. And that's another thing. You go to WeWon'tFly.com. What do you see? You see that there are links to Quick. QIK.com. You go to quick.com and you put it on your smartphone. All you got to do is you hit a button, boom, it records it straight to the web. No editing, no deleting, no doing away from it. As somebody takes and stomps on your camera, it's already transmitted. There's so many eyes now that they may have, but we even outnumber them. We have some power. We got some arrows in our quiver, and they got daisies at the end of them. So it's all good. We're having a good time. We want you to too. And we'll make sure that you get the video from all the news coverage that we got. And tomorrow night, I'm putting the packets together. You come up with your own packet. Maybe we'll see them in Sky Harbor from your airport. The people bringing them around the country and the world. We'll be right back here on Declare Your Independence with me, Ernest Hancock, just a little bit.